these are the most important concepts that we looked at last time. And what are they? So the first one is the compound interest formula. Although you can use your notes during tests and the final exam, can anyone give us the compound interest formula?
Is it A equals principal times rate over time? 1 plus rate over time.
This is not time. The time is up here.
Not time? Oh. Oh, it's M on the bottom.
So this is my M, N, and this is my M.
Okay.
I write M with three bubbles and N with 2 bubbles. So this is N. Yes.
And then it's times N.
Yes. Perfect. Awesome. What is the average rate of change of a function between 2 points? So can anyone give us 2 points, not numerical points? So let's say x1 and x2. And the function is denoted by f of x. So what is the y coordinate here, and what is the y coordinate here? Anyone, please.
F of x1 and
of course. And f of x2. There's no discussion there. If this is x1, this must be the function value at x1. Awesome. If this is x2, this must be the function value at x2. Awesome. Good. So now can anyone give us the average rate of change for this function between these 2 points? Anyone, please.
Is it x2 minus x1 over y2 minus y1?
Careful. It has to be rise over run. Not,
so it's
not,
y2 minus
yes,
y1.
yes.
Yeah.
So we have to write it. You're correct. So this is f of x2 minus f of x1. Always rise. Always the change in y over the change in x. Over x2 minus x1. Okay, perfect. Difference quotient.
That f of x plus h minus f of x over h.
F of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. Awesome, perfect. So now can anyone tell us what are the steps? When I have any function and I want to find and simplify this, what will be the mandatory steps? If they don't happen, I know I made a boo-boo somewhere.
Factor and simplify.
Correct. But what will be the 2 steps that have to happen?
Hey, I have a super question for you.
Sure, go ahead. Any question.
What does DQ stand for again? What does DQ stand for? It says DQ equals f of x. F of x plus h. That, yes, that. Oh.
Please watch the videos. Please, I'm begging you. Good. So what are the 2 steps that have to happen when we work on the difference quotient for any function? Any function.
Is it factor and simplify?
Good. But there's 2 steps that have to happen. If they don't happen, then we know that something is wrong.
Do we have to cancel like terms?
Yes. All terms from the top that do not have h must simplify. And then step 2.
Oh, I forgot that one. Would it be factor h?
Yes. Simplify h. All terms without h must simplify in the numerator. And then in step 2, if these 2 steps don't happen, you're not on the right track, something is wrong, and you have to say, oops. H from the denominator, this one, after we factor out, has to simplify. Good, awesome. Good. What is a piecewise defined function? How would you, your own words, how would you describe a piecewise defined function in your own words.
Two separate lines on the same graph?
A piecewise defined function is a function defined in pieces. It can have 2 pieces, it can have 3 pieces, it can have 4 pieces, it can have infinitely number of pieces. But it's not just one piece. It's one function, but it has at least 2 pieces. If it doesn't have 2 or more, it's not piecewise defined. So this one we selected had 3 pieces. Others may only have 2. 1 is not possible. 1 is not a piecewise defined function. It has to have 2 or more. Good. So all I would say here, a function defined in several pieces. They do not overlap. That never overlap. Any questions on these topics? So remember step 1 and remember step 2. All terms without age at the top must go away. If they don't, we cannot proceed. And then step 2, age in the denominator has to simplify somehow with an age from the top. When these 2 are fulfilled, we know we're done with the difference quotient. Good, awesome, excellent questions, excellent answers, thank you. So please tell me what we continue with. Any questions for me? Anything that you encountered? Anything you want to go back to? Anything. So let's solve any questions you may have.
When I was working on the homework for
Yes.
R2 and
Yes.
we were doing the functions, it's kind of just like what you were explaining. I'm looking here. I'm sorry. Number 3, the difference quotient formula.
Yes.
Anyway, we can just do an example of that because I was
Yes,
struggling.
any function. So I'm hoping, and I'm always hoping that students look at this and work on this problem first to understand the steps and what's happening. That's always my hope, but good. So make up any function you want. Give us any
X
function.
squared plus 5.
I'm sorry?
X squared plus 5.
Good. So remember the difference quotient, and we know the formula. So f of x plus h minus f of x, you just gave it to me. So these pieces are always clear. There is no problem there. So obviously this piece will be replaced by x squared plus 5. But remember, there is a minus sign that has to be distributed to both. If you only distribute it to the first one, then the 2 steps will be not possible, right? So, and this is just tiny h. There is nothing I can do to it. So the only one that I have to work on is this. So can anyone give us how to write f of x plus h? And then we'll simplify it a little bit. How do I find f of x plus h? What does it mean?
It means you're replacing the x in x squared plus 5 with x plus h.
What I see here perfect. Thank you, Carmen. It has to be replaced by x plus h. So I copy exactly what I see. Oh, but I have to have parentheses because I'm squaring a binomial. Plus 5. How many terms does a binomial squared have?
3.
Yes. Very good. Awesome. Very good. Okay, can anyone give us those 3 terms? Again, I apologize for the noise in the background.
X squared plus 2xh plus h squared.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And now I have all 3 pieces. So you know what I like to do? Not because I'm lazy, but because I want to save time. So you jump from here. This continues here. The top will be replaced by this, x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 5. Now I have minus x squared. minus 5 divided by h. Again, what is the first step that has to happen here? Before I even look at it, what has to happen?
I'd say put your parentheses.
Okay, let's go back to the step. Please, I'm begging you to save these PDF files on your hard drive.
So on the
Would it be
numerator, all the terms without H have to disappear? or have to
Exactly.
simplify?
Yes. Somebody else wanted to say something. Please do. I want to hear everyone.
Can you just go back to the page where you were working on it?
Yes.
Okay. So you remember how you said like for me it's easier when I put the 3 terms first and then put a parentheses around those, then the minus, and then I put the parentheses around my.
That's fine. That's fine. You're going to write one more extra step. Absolutely use it.
Right.
Absolutely. That's perfect. Yes.
So basically, then you would subtract your x squared with the other x squared.
That's what I did. Yes.
Okay.
I just did it in one step.
Got it.
Only because I thought that this was clear, but you can always stop me and say, no, show me in a different way, and I will. But the reason why I'm doing this is because this is still the R, which is the algebra. So I'm assuming that this will trigger your memory, but you can always stop me and ask questions. Somebody else was saying something. Anyone, please, feel free to say anything you want.
Cross out the x squared and the 5.
So yes, all terms without h must simplify. If they do not simplify, then something is terribly wrong. So the positive 5 and a negative 5 and the x squared with negative x squared. So step number 1 happens. Now, if step number 2 doesn't happen, there is a problem, right? But it has to happen. If the first one did, the second one will. So what will be the next step then? I always put the equals.
H on the bottom.
Say it again.
Simplify the h on the bottom. So take the h off from the bottom and the h off the top. So you get 2x plus h. 2x plus h.
So we have to factor. We will never cross out something in, so these are terms. We cannot simplify terms. So first we have to do something else. Anyone remembers what we did?
You have to factor out an h from the
Yes,
top.
because it's a common factor. And only then I can simplify it. I'm not allowed to cross it out in a sum of terms. Good, but since I have 2 terms, I have to have 2 terms here. What is left in parentheses?
2x plus h.
Indeed.
Yeah, h.
Can we check? Yes. H times 2x is 2sh. H times h is h squared. This goes away. I write 1 because if I don't write 1, some students say that it's 0. No. So the final answer is 2x plus h. And what does this represent is almost the instantaneous rate of change, not exactly, but almost the instantaneous rate of change of this function. Almost. Good. Other questions for me? Is this okay, everyone?
Yes, it's much clearer.
Perfect. Good. Other questions for me, or we move on? Anything else? So we are going to go back to, I'm opening the book right here. In the background. Did I lose you? No. Okay. By mistake, I clicked on. By mistake, I clicked on closing Zoom. I said, "Oh no, that would be terrible." Okay, here it is. Any other questions from Pearson? I think somebody said that you may have encountered something in Pearson that you need help with.
Yes, I did actually.
Okay, I'm ready.
Can I put the screenshot in the chat?
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, you can share the screen if you'd like. I'll give you permission to.
No, I can just put it in the chat. Thank you.
Sure. So let's look at the chat. Okay, my chat is missing. I found it. You didn't put it in yet, right?
I just did.
Okay. Is there a file? Okay, very good. Is it downloading it? Oh no. Oh, it is. Excellent. Perfect. Good. So suppose that 1,200 is invested annually into an annuity. Yes, that's the option. So we have the 1,200 right here. 1 plus R, that's 5%. So 1 plus 0.05. Annually add interest at R, the value of the annuity after n years. So this one has n in years, not in months. So this is a different formula they're giving us. So let me copy the formula. So this is W equals P, 1 plus R raised to the nth power minus 1, everything divided by R. And they're telling us that P equals 1,200. They're telling us that R is 0.05. And the number of years is 13. So perfect. Okay. Here it is. So, okay. So we have 1,200. And we have parentheses. And 1 plus R is 1.05. So 1.05 minus 1 would be 0.5. I'm sorry. I need another set of parentheses for the numerator because I forgot the power n. Sorry. So 1.05, close the parenthesis, power 13, come down, minus 1, and close the parenthesis. So this is just for the numerator. And divide by R, which is 0.05. So again, 1,200, the principal, 1 plus 0.05 is 1.05 raised to power 13 minus 1. This is the numerator of the fraction. Now the denominator, if you want, you can put it in parentheses, but it will not make any difference in this case. But you could. So I could write, it doesn't matter, I can show you again. So press enter. And so where is, okay. Okay, so this is what they are telling us. Did you get something else?
I think I didn't put it. I put the 13 in months, not years. And
Yeah, so you have to, yeah, the fine print is telling us to put it in years this time for this formula. So,
yeah, I read that wrong.
So W is 21,255 point, remember 58. The 57 changes into 58 because of this number being larger than 5 or more. And this has to be in dollars. Always remember the measurement unit. Good, perfect. Other questions? So this is how I would write it. So the principal, 1 plus 0.05 and power 13 minus 1 over 0.05. But careful how to enter it in the graphing calculator.